Hi and welcome to another Unscripted Phil video. Don't forget to follow the hashtag UnscriptedPhil and also my hashtag Smocialite. And if you want to check on my previous content, that's hashtag LinkedIn 2 weeks, where I ran a series recently. Anyway, stories. So stories are what help us to get our message across, help people to remember what we're saying, and also help people to get in sync with what we're about. Now this is important for our personal branding, because on a LinkedIn profile, and I often say this when I'm speaking, if you've got two people going for a role, one person's very light on detail on their profile, one person has created a good story and given detail on their profile. Even if this one's better at the role or potential role, it's more than likely that this person's going to get chosen for the interview. Well, they should do if HR are doing their job properly, because they can be in tune with that person straight away. The small talk's been done, so they can get onto the nitty-gritty of how they would be good at the role, etc. So creating that story through your profile is really important. You need to weave and wind a story through your experience from your earlier roles to where you are today, so people can follow that path. They can see the journey you've been on and they can relate to it. Even if you've had, as most people have, a job which they wish they'd never gone to, or they didn't enjoy it, still have it in there, because our failures help us to succeed more. Without failure, then we either avoid lots of things because we don't want to fail in the future, or we're not learning enough along the way. So I think failure is a good thing to highlight as well. And also to have the story in your about section, which is at the top of your profile. So this is to let people know what makes you tick, your why, what you want to be famous for, and just more of a kind of a personal touch on what you're all about. So mine is focused a lot on sport, because I enjoyed sport and throughout my life and through my career as well. And also the leadership qualities that come from sport as well, helping people to improve themselves in their performance, which is what I do now. So there's a link there, and there's a story that runs through. So stories are really important. They're also important from a company branding point of view. And I'm just going to read something from a guy called Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote a book called Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind. And there's three things he touched on here for storytelling. One is stories light. So stories illuminate the past, present and future. And they guide us on our way, lighting up the path of change. And they also help people to understand what's driving us, our mission and vision as an organisation. So they're really important from that point of view. The stories are also a glue, so they enable people to connect across difference and create an authentic sense of alignment. So the stories bring everything together. So rather than having pieces of data, they bring it all together. And that goes on to the third one, which is story as web. So that unites data and feeling to help us author and re-author our individual and shared identities. So that helps us to take those bits and bring them together and make them more not palatable, but make them easier for people to relate to, rather than trying to have to find the answer. We can read a story and we can see exactly what the author or the company or the individual is getting across and what their objective is. So that's why stories are important. And I'll just leave you with this. So imagine if J.K. Rowling was a bit light on detail in her stories. So then all she would have given us would be, she would have said that there's this chap called Harry Potter. He's quite young to start with. He's got a bit of a scar on his head. He's a bit of a wizard, and he's got a couple of friends called Hermione and Ron, and they go off to school called Hogwarts, and they're fighting against the evil Voldemort, and there's lots of other things to get up to. They play a bit of Quidditch, and then they encounter Moaning Myrtle, and then a big guy called Hagrid, and lots of things happen. The end. It's a bit boring, and to be honest, trying to fill the gaps in is quite difficult. That's why it's a bit of a vast analogy there, but that's why stories are really important. We need to get the detail, we need to fill in those gaps, and just having bullet points of everything that we do don't work. We need a story, we need to be relatable. Anyway, that's enough from me. Don't forget, stay active, and in true Harry Potter style,